Hello everyone. Now, if you've been on this channel for quite a while, you would know that I originally stated that in my first video, in fact, after playing through a game, I would review it. Then I'd go to another game and I'd play through that and I'd review it. I did not live up to that standard. Also, ignore my hair while I'm telling you this. I look like an absolute sad man. Well, I realised that, and then after every time I tried doing it again, I said, hang on, I ain't done it again. And the only one I've reviewed was Crash 1 on the remaster on the Insane Trilogy. And since then, I've been hoping to do more, but after each playthrough, I've never really got around to doing it. So now that it comes to the end of the year, I think it's time to do a big end-of-year review for all the games that I didn't review throughout my time this year on YouTube. So that being, and these aren't like the mobile games, or these aren't the one-off. These are Octodad, which was after Crash 1, then Crash 2 and 3, Skyrim, Mafia, Goldeneye, Cuphead, and I think that's it. I don't think there's any more. I need to have a re-look through if there is. But if that's it, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you don't mind the camera angle I'm standing at and my obnoxious bald head. This is the other side of my my zone. Like, you got the TV to play on. You don't see them, but this is the recent thing. I got a load of Bond model cars and I got a load of magazines up on top of there. So you get to see that as I speak on here. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Basically what I'm going to do is do a little review for each game, just so then it doesn't A, spread out too much, and B, drag on, like my Crash 1 review, which you may remember I tried coming as much into and it made no sense. So let's get into it. Hope you enjoy the video. Let's go. So we begin with Octodad. Now, Octodad for me, it's a charming game that takes me back quite a while ago, but I'll try and stay non-biased with it. It's a short game, don't get me wrong. There are two things we didn't do, which I might do eventually on the channel, maybe on like a subscriber special at one point, I don't know, but there's two other missions you can do, one of them being a dining room, one of them being a hospital, which are really fun. But I played the main story on the channel and I enjoyed it, even though it was only a 3-part series. I think it's a charming game. The character design, I've looked at behind the scenes, it's brilliant. There's only a few voice actors in the game, lots of people made it. It was brilliant. Like, when I picked it up, it was one of the happiest times of my life. I got it on the PS4, it was what, like 14 quid when I got it, quite a while ago actually. But it's a comfort game. I play it, I don't rage at it, I've 100%ed it, it's a comfort game for me, and this is my personal opinion. I said I won't be biased, but I think the personal opinion always kind of helps when you're reviewing, because with a review you kind of have to be biased, but I don't want to be too biased when it comes to this. So, in character design, I know I'm factoring off a bit, but I like the character designs. I think they're different to all the other games. I like that it's not open world, because the majority of games that are open world, yes, they're great, but I think they focus too much on the open world instead of their story. So I love the story of Octodad. I like the villain being the chef is just some normal dude who thinks he saw something which he did, and then he tries to get revenge, and at the end he's just redeemed. It's a lovely story, very, very good, and I'd solidly, it's I wouldn't say 10 out of 10 just for the sheer amount that's in it. I mean, there's like 9 missions plus 2 extras, and then there's like a few collectibles. I'd give it a solid 9 out of 10. It is one of my favourite games. It's at least in my top 20 favourite games, and for me that's quite a bit, because I have played at least 300 or so games, so I'm really glad to be speaking about that. We move on to Crash 2. Crash 2 on the remastered version, not the original. Crash 2 on the Insane Trilogy. Crash 2 is my least favourite of the 3, but I tell you its merits. It's got okay bosses. Let's say the last one isn't the greatest final boss in the game. The most difficult levels in the series, in my opinion, I mean, it made for quite the fail video, and I know the last levels are horrible, but well designed. And I think what Activision did. They made a really solid remaster. They took everything from the original, threw it in this one. I think the controls were on point. I think the graphics were great. It's just, I think, even in the old game, the level design, the way the enemies were laid out, the way that it would be slightly more tricky. And I know Crash games are meant to be hard, but if you have Crash 1 and 3 following a similar formula, yeah, they're actually, you know, different bases, different levels and whatnot, but they're following a similar formula, equal levels, somewhat hard, somewhat easy, nice level. And then you get Crash 2 thrown in, and you've got all these gem areas and death routes that you can go through, and I hate the B levels, but that's not really part of it. I think in terms of the remaster, that's a solid 10 out of 10. The Crash series remaster was a 10 out of 10, like everything about it. Even Crash Team Racing, which we might do a video on, might do a playthrough of. Crash Team Racing was great. Any Crash remaster that they've done out of all of them, brilliant. I really hope they do more. But Crash 2's Crash 2. I've got to. It's not in my top 20. It's probably in my like top 80 or something. It's probably gonna get a 5 out of 10 for me. It's just, I feel that Crash 1 and 3 do a better job. They have a better theme. Crash 2 I did not enjoy as much as the other two. I'm going to make a jump here. I wanted to talk about Goldeneye. Now, I'm trying not to be biased in this, you know, I'm quite a big fan of that anyways, but Goldeneye the game, it's flawed. Because of the controls of the time on the N64 and, well, the controller of the N64 and the limited amount, I mean, what they put a lot in that game. Like you don't see on my channel, they have a multiplayer, they have many levels, they have 2 extra levels at the ends, they have a load of characters, they have a load of good references. It's probably the best first-person shooter Bond game. However, due to the controls and level layout and the game layout, I think that brings it down a bit. I think it's a solid 4 out of 10 for enjoyment, honestly. I don't enjoy it that much. You feel like Bond while playing through it. However, the game doesn't tell you what you want to do. It doesn't tell you where to go, what to do. And it doesn't like give you certain tips. What it does is when you load up a mission, you see it, it gives you the little briefing, it gives you like 3 objectives. It never tells you how to do them. Well, in the statue park, the part 9, I think it might have been part 9, the Back from the Dead episode I made. One of the missions, contact Valentine. Well, where is Valentine? Oh, he's in a container, of course. Go to a statue. What statue? It's a statue park. And then go to the helicopter back at the gate. I'm lost. It's easy to lose yourself. There's guards with better weapons, and then like the archives one, lost in there as well. It took me ages to get out of there. There's some dodgy layouts. The one I'm on right now, as of filming this, is the train level, which I'll probably be posting either towards the new year or in the new year. The controls towards the ends, you've got to use your watch for a laser. There's no one telling you to use your watch. You just have to use it out of common sense to shoot lasers. But with the dodgy controls, even on the Switch, the dodgy controls, I can't look down and shoot at that. I panic and I blow up at the end because there's a bomb. It's just very flawed with the way it plays and the way it's laid out. But in terms of feeling like Bond and being a Bond game, I think it does well at that. So I think maybe a solid, I'll amp it 5 out of 10. I'm half and half. I enjoy the fact that it's a Bond game, it's the best in the series, it's on one of the best films that they made. But the other half is controls and layout. It doesn't sit right with me, and I don't think it sits right with anyone. Anyways, let's move on.